Welcome to the channel, Jaden Chase. Now, Reneto Adams spoke out about the SOEs being implemented by the government. And now members of law enforcement stationed at these checkpoints have agreed and are now pushing back against the recent implementation of new SOEs. And they are now stating that the SOEs have become a burden, with officers not eating on time, fatigue, working long hours, waiting long hours to be released. Recently, we see a soldier shoot himself underneath the tent. I'm not going to hear what Adams have to say. They will contain the reasoning. Look and listen.
My view on the state of emergency that has been called, it was as a result of police inaction. And that has to do with experience over the years and my research that I've made in a state of emergency is that when a society has almost been captured by criminal elements.
Now, even the JDF has said that since the recent SOEs have been implemented and soldiers are now being seen as regular officers, there's not only low morale amongst the JDF, but there is low respect from civilians towards the JDF. And we see it in a whole heap of videos where I circulate social media. Essentially, JDF soldiers are now being used as a stop sign by being placed at these checkpoints. And the next sad part is, a JDF soldier pointed out that when soldiers are at checkpoints and crime and violence is still taking place right around on the other avenue, it is almost as if the security forces can do nothing about the crime and violence. While Adams and others have pointed out that the resources are not being used correctly, officers have stated that they would rather patrol communities than just stand up at checkpoints and drive around on main streets. And the sad part is, in one of the current parties, strongholds, SOEs have been in place for quite some time. And two communities on the same road are still feuding. A community controlled by the same MP. Obviously, we have to try a new strategy. In Trelawney, when law enforcement are considered areas where going to be placed under a SOE, Trelawney was considered. The leading officers from Trelawney stated that it was not needed in their parish. Officers are reject the SOE. Them say, based on statistics, Trelawney have the highest rate of solving crime. Now that a police work actually solving crime. Evidence gathered, individuals who committed the crime arrested, brought in front of the authorities, in front of the judge, and justice served. While in majority of the communities where SOEs have been implemented, individuals have been detained, but without evidence against them. All them can do is hold them for the duration of the time with the SOE say and release these individuals. Take them picture, get them print. And basically an ID process. Some would say we need more detectives. We need more equipment for law enforcement. And truth be told, the crime and violence where take place on the island diverse. You have criminal organizations where they crime and violence. You have regular day-to-day crime and violence. You have petty crime. You have serious crime. You have fraud now on the increase. Dialing which would be considered as the same thing. So it's not an easy task. It's not a simple fix. But it's doable. It reached a point now where Jamaican citizens, right across the board, overseas, ones residing on the island, fed up of the crime and violence, fed up of the high murder rate. Every organization's aim are to make money. Some of the crime and violence that we see take place seem senseless. No clear aim. So clearly the people in mindset have to change. And of course, where leadership is concerned, I feel like in some of these communities where the administration is stating that these communities need these SOEs. I feel like I need to visit some of these communities, some of these parishes. Many of these communities and these parishes are under the administrations, what we would say strongholds, for better choice of words. And talk to the actual officers, people who are actually patrol are being stationed at these checkpoints. Talk to the people in the community. And craft a different crime strategy, a different crime plan. If members of law enforcement have stated that one of the biggest assets and tools when fighting crime in any community is the actual people who live there, then why when them consider a crime plan, especially for certain communities, them now consult the actual officers who work these communities, who have the information, who know the people, who know of some of the criminal element, and see what would be the best situation or solution.
And the action. Like I said before, the corruption is so massive in the western section of Montego Bay, I mean of the country. So like I said, a massive rotation, demotion, reversion, transfer, replacement, training, staffing. That's one. 2, create a brain trust bank, online as well as through other contact communications for us to gather intelligence. So people will phone in, people will go online, whatever intelligence they have to offer, you go. I have a team to study that every morning, and immediately these intelligence come in, we send out people to deal with them. 3, massive rotation of senior police personnel and middle management, many of whom are square pegs in round holes. So we make sure that people are placed in position of responsibility and leadership, these based on merit, performance, integrity, their capacity to lead the men and women under their command.
Mr. Adams.
Yes?
I have a producer named Rohan Daly, and he's putting us on a little bit of pressure for the time. However,
Okay.
What message do you have at the moment for the criminals who are wreaking havoc in this country of Jamaica?
Well, I'm going to be very nice to them. If I were, put it this way, even from tonight, but I don't think they have taken my age into consideration. I think what they have taken into consideration is the confidence and faith in me that I probably have the capacity and the ability to give an helping hand to what we are experiencing now as it relates to criminal elements. The Jamaican people have been hijacked, demoralized along the way by criminal elements.
Where would you see where you could
and
help
it would
out?
seem to me that we have tried almost everybody. We have not tried everything, but we have tried a few persons well. And we have not achieved that objective. Yes.
For these different areas. Because overseas, the way the police and police Brooklyn kind of different from the way they might police Manhattan. Manhattan have crime too. And Brooklyn have crime too. But the style of crime might different. The type of crimes might different. In England, the way police patrol North London different from the way them patrol South London. Different from the way them patrol probably Peckham. Talk to me in the comment section. I know what you think. But when you hear law enforcement, I say, while the SOEs are a deterrent, because we now say it's not a deterrent, but we have said the solutions were needed for crime and violence in this modern day and age. And not just checkpoints in front of communities. What is also not talked about is that them things can slow up the country's growth with the way people do business, the way people go to and from deal with business, things of that nature. Anyway, talk to me in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe icon, then the bell icon. Now until the reason again, live, love and prosper, and of course stay tuned.